there are moments when fiction stops being imagination and starts looking like memory. Two writers, George Orwell and Aldous Huxley, described the future long before it arrived. They wrote warnings, not predictions. Yet today, the world they feared looks uncomfortably familiar. Orwell feared that truth would be crushed by power. Huxley feared that truth would be drowned in pleasure and distraction. Between them, they understood human nature so well that their imagined futures have quietly merged with our present. This is not a comparison. This is a look at how both men accurately described the world we now live in.
On Tuesday night, I gave the order for British forces to take part in military action in Iraq.
You must stay at home. People will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes.
Orwell and Huxley didn't predict technology. They predicted behaviour. They lived through a time when propaganda was becoming a science, when governments learned that controlling minds could be more powerful than controlling armies. Orwell witnessed political manipulation firsthand in Spain. Huxley watched the rise of consumerism, advertising psychology, and the early belief that human emotion itself could be engineered. They saw the same world, and each recognized a different danger.
Something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power.
George Orwell's 1984. Well, this book was written at the height of the Stalinist regime and just after the Hitler regime. And there he foresaw a dictatorship using entirely the method of terror, the method of physical violence. Now, I think that what is going to happen in the future is that dictators will find, as the old saying goes, that you can do everything with bayonets except sit on them. If you want to preserve your power indefinitely, you have to get this consent of the ruled, and this they will do partly by drugs, as I foresaw in Brave New World, partly by these new techniques of propaganda. They will do it by bypassing the rationale side of man and appealing to his subconscious and deeper emotion.
In 1984, Orwell imagined a world where privacy disappears, where citizens are watched, not occasionally, but constantly. Big Brother is watching you. Today, we carry the telescreen ourselves. Phones track location, behavior, preferences, and conversations. Not through force, but through convenience. Orwell wrote, "Who controls the past controls the future." He understood that the battle over information would define modern power. Real-time edits, algorithmic filtering, narrative wars. The tools are different, the outcome the same. Control the story, and you control the people. The 2 minutes hate wasn't about rage. It was about ritual. A population emotionally manipulated into predictable patterns. Today's equivalent is the endless cycle of online outrage and digital tribalism. The faces change. The psychology doesn't. Orwell warned, the whole aim of newspeak is to narrow thought, limit language and you limit imagination. Reduce ideas to slogans and nuance disappears. Modern discourse proves him right. Complexity replaced with bite-sized certainty. Orwell feared truth being crushed. And today, truth is something constantly fought over. Huxley saw a different threat. Not fear, but emotional sedation. In Brave New World, strong feelings, love, grief, longing, anger, are treated as dangerous. They disrupt stability. Whenever someone feels too deeply, the answer is simple. Take soma. A gram is better than a dam. Not to lift the spirit, but to flatten it. In Huxley's world, the greatest social offense is emotional intensity. To grieve deeply, to fall passionately in love, to feel lost, lonely, or overwhelmed. These are considered defects. A stable society, Huxley said, must be emotionally tidy. And tidy emotions are shallow emotions. Huxley didn't predict specific medications. He predicted an attitude, a belief that emotional difficulty should be corrected chemically rather than understood. Huxley's line, "Everyone belongs to everyone else," was not about liberation. It was about eliminating deep emotional attachment. Because attachment creates vulnerability, and vulnerability disrupts stability. Replace connection with distraction, and people never bond deeply enough to rebel, suffer, or question. Huxley's world keeps citizens too busy to ever sit with their own thoughts. Silence, solitude, introspection. These are discouraged, because people who think deeply might begin to feel deeply, and people who feel deeply might begin to question. This was Huxley's warning. Not forced happiness, but manufactured emotional emptiness. Orwell warned that freedom might be taken with force. Huxley warned it could be surrendered through comfort. And modern society reflects both visions. We are watched more than ever, but we are also distracted more than ever. Monitored, medicated, entertained, and often encouraged to avoid emotional depth. Orwell feared pain. Huxley feared numbness. The world contains elements of both. Their accuracy didn't come from prophecy. It came from understanding human nature. Orwell saw the danger of power without restraint. Huxley saw the danger of pleasure without meaning. Orwell warned us of a world where truth is crushed. Huxley warned us of a world where truth is drowned. And the most unsettling thing is this: they expected us to resist. Instead, we adapted. They didn't just imagine the future, they understood us. And that is why reading them today doesn't feel like reading fiction. It feels like looking in a mirror.